Namaskar, Nandurbar Taluka Vidayak Samitis, College of Education, Nandurbar, subject CPS 3 oblique CPS 4, Curriculum and Pedagogic Studies, school subject 1st oblique 2nd, English. Unit number 1 is there, aspects of English language. In this unit, we have a subtopic 1.1 prose. We will see in this video meaning and objectives of prose. So let's see the meaning and objectives of prose. Dear students, as I already told you, we are going to see unit number 1, aspects of English language. In that, we have 1.1, that is prose. In there, we have some points: prose, meaning of prose, then objectives of teaching prose, then we have types of prose, then we have teaching of prose, then we have to study steps in teaching prose, and then methods of teaching prose. These are the topics we have to cover. Through this video, we will cover the first two one, that is meaning of prose and objectives of teaching prose. So let's see the meaning of prose. See, while the word prose has been derived from the Latin word prosa. Here, prosa or proversa, oration. That means straightforward discourse. This word, the word prose derived from the Latin word prosa or proversa oration, and that prosa or proversa oration means straightforward discourse. Prose is a powerful medium of expressing ideas, facts, laws, and principles. See, uh, prose is a powerful medium of expressing our ideas, some facts, some laws, and principles, etc. See, then the main aim of the teaching prose is to develop the vocabulary, explain the structure of sentences, and grasp the ideas of the author. See, why when we ask ourselves why do we learn the prose or why should we teach the prose, because we have to develop some vocabulary among the learner, we have to explain the structure of sentences, and we have to grasp the ideas of the author whatever described in a prose. That is the main aim of teaching the prose. Prose is a form of language that has no formal metrical structures. So it applies a natural flow of speech and ordinary grammatical structures rather than rhythmic structures, such as in the case of traditional poetry. See, prose is a form of language that has no formal metrical structures. So we do not have formal metrical structure in a prose. It applies a natural flow of speech and ordinarily grammatical structures as we see in a language. So rhythmic structure, except rhythmic structure, we have some grammatical structures, ordinary grammatical structure, such as in the case of traditional poetry. Whatever we see in a traditional poetry, we do not see that type of language in a prose. So according to St. Coleridge, prose is the words in their best orders. What Coleridge explains about the prose, that prose is the words uh, they in their best orders. So this is the meaning of given by the according St. Coleridge. So let us see some objectives of teaching prose. Here are some general objectives of teaching prose. The first one is that to enable the students to read English passage loudly with correct pronunciation, stress, intonation, pause, and articulation of voice. See, this is the first and important objective of teaching prose. Why do we teach a prose? Because we have to develop among the student to read English passage loudly. With why do we read loudly? Because we must pronounce correctly, we give proper stress, we give proper intonation, we should use proper intonation pattern, pause, and articulation of voice, etc. That is the main general objective of teaching prose. Then second one is that to develop the comprehensive ability of the students. uh, if we have to develop the comprehensive ability of the student, we should teach, because uh, we should teach prose, because prose is going to develop the that type of ability among the students. To prepare the students for silent reading too, this is the another general objective of teaching prose. When we read the prose silently, we are going to prepare the students to read it. That then to enrich their uh, active and passive vocabulary. See, there are two types of vocabulary. Active vocabulary is there and passive vocabulary is there. Active vocabulary are those vocabulary which we use frequently, and passive vocabulary are those vocabulary, those words we know but we cannot use them frequently. So we have to enrich both type of vocabulary using the prose. Then the next general objective of the prose is that to develop the imaginative power of students. This is another important objective. We have to develop imaginative power of the students. Then next one is that to enable them to enjoy reading and writing. See, when we read something, when we write something, we should be enjoy. So how to enjoy the reading or writing, we are going to teach the prose. All these things are going, when we read some kind of prose, we should read it by enjoying. Hmm? So this is the objective of teaching prose. Then to enable them to get knowledge contents in the lessons. Hmm? And next one is that to develop their speaking and writing expressions. See, speaking expression is there and writing expression is there. We are going to develop both of the expressions by using prose. That's why we are going to teach the prose. So these are the general objectives of teaching prose. Then let's see specific objectives of a prose. According to subject matter of the prose lesson, it may be story, biography, play, essay, drama, and a dialogue. We have a different objectives. So, as a general, all these are the prose, but as a general, we have seen some general objective. But as a specific, we have some different objectives are there. So, let's see descriptive prose. So, why do we teach a descriptive prose? Behind that, we have some certain objectives. The first one is that to develop imaginative power of the students. This is one. To develop thinking power of the students. This is one. Then to acquaint them with the writing style of the writer. See, when we read some descriptive prose, we are going to acquaint with the writing style, how the written work is that written by the writer. We are going to acquaint it. That is the objectives of descriptive prose. Then we have story teaching. Hmm? Let's see, the story teaching is there. Why we should teach the story? Hmm? To develop interest among the students for story reading. We should develop the reading story interest, the reading story, that is the objective. Then to gain some moral lessons as a result. When we read a story, each story has some moral lesson, so we are going to gain some moral lessons uh, from that story. That is the objective. Then to give character training or to inculcate the values among students. Then we have some character training is there using the story. For example, take an example. So when we are going to narrate a story on Swami Vivekananda, it means that behind that storytelling, that purpose is that we have to build a character among the student. So character training is there to inculcate the values among the student. That is the objective. Then to enable them to write short interesting stories. uh, why do we teach the story? Because student also enable to write some short interesting stories. Hmm? That is the another objective of teaching a story. Then we have biography teaching. Then we have some objectives of biography teaching is there to get students acquainted with the life and deeds of great men. So many great personalities is there are there. Their deeds are very important for us. So we acquaint with the life of them, some deeds of them, and of such great person. That is the main objective of teaching biography teaching. To follow the teaching or idea of great men, there are so many ideas they teach us, we are going to follow while learning the biographies. Hmm? That is the objectives. Then to create interest about the reading of biographies of famous persons. See, we are when we are going to teach a biography, we are going to create interest among the students. This is the very important feature of or objective of the teaching biography, to inculcate among the student desirable sentiments. See, why do we teach biography? Because we have to develop that type of sentiments which great person we are going to study. This is we are going to inculcate among the student. So these are the objectives of teaching biography. Then we have some essay teaching is there. See, there are some objectives of essay teachings. uh, it is to increase curiosity about the subject of essays. This is the one objective. The second one is that to enable them to arrange the ideas in a systematic way. This is second one. Third one is that to acquaint with the style of the essay. This is third one. We are going to acquire the style of the writing of that essay. For that we are going to teach the essay. Then playwriting is there. uh, there are so many objectives of playwriting. Some of them is that to build their character. Hmm? We have to build some characters in the play, that is to make them play the different roles. Hmm? We are going to develop how to play the different roles. That is also important objective. Then giving them opportunity for self expression. Here, this is another important objective. While teaching play, we should give the opportunity for self expression. It is one that to teach students with playway method. When we use or when we teach play, we should use playway method. That's why we can develop a good language among them. To develop self confidence among the student, self confidence, for building a self confidence, we use teach a play writing. And last one, to utilize the leisure time. That is very important. When we have leisure time, we should utilize them by writing, reading a play. That is the objectives of playwriting. Here today we have learned the meaning of prose and objectives of prose. We have learned objectives, general objectives are there and specific objectives are there. Here today whatever I prepared my presentation, I have referred all these websites and books. You can take some references and details from these websites and you can learn it from them too. Thank you very much.